In the quiet riverside village of Olorinsogo, tucked deep in southwestern Nigeria, everyone knew everyone. News traveled faster than the harmattan wind, and secrets rarely stayed buried for long. On the morning it happened, the village was already awake. Women swept their compounds, traders arranged tomatoes and pepper at the roadside market, and the call to prayer still lingered faintly in the air. That was the morning Iyabo Adikuno slapped Mama Sa. Iyabo was not just anybody. She was young, beautiful, educated, and married into one of the wealthiest families in the village. Her husband Kunele de Kunel owned the biggest cassava mill in the area and supplied gari 2 towns miles away. Iyabo walked with confidence, sometimes arrogance, and people whispered that money had changed her. Still, no one expected what happened next. Mama Sadia was old, very old. Her back was bent like a question mark, her face carved with deep wrinkles that looked like they held stories older than the village itself. She sold roasted groundnuts by the roadside and survived on what little people gave her. Some said she had no children. Others said her children abandoned her. Some even whispered darker things, calling her a witch when misfortune struck. Mama Sadia never defended herself. She only smiled, showing missing teeth, and minded her business. That morning, Mama Sadia's tray of groundnuts was placed near the entrance of Iyabo's compound. When Iyabo came out, dressed in an expensive lace blouse and wrapper, her mood was already sour. She had been arguing with Kunal all night about money, rumors, and a woman in Ibadan whose name kept appearing on his phone. "Old woman, didn't I warn you not to sit near my gate?" Iyabo snapped. Mama Sadia looked up slowly. "My daughter, forgive me. I will move now." But Iyabo was already boiling. Neighbors later said it was as if something else had taken over her. She accused the old woman of bringing bad luck, of blocking her destiny, of using charms. Mama Sadia tried to stand, but her knees failed her. Before anyone could intervene, Iyabo raised her hand and slapped the old woman across the face. The sound echoed. The market went silent. Mama Sadia fell sideways, her tray spilling groundnuts onto the dusty road. She did not cry. She did not shout. She only looked up at Iyabo with eyes that were strangely calm. "What have I done to you, my daughter?" she asked quietly. Iyabo felt a strange chill but brushed it off. "Carry yourself away from here before you bring curses to my house," she shouted. Mama Sadia struggled to her feet. As villagers gathered, murmuring in disbelief, the old woman bent down slowly, picked one groundnut from the ground, brushed off the dust, and spoke words that would haunt Olorinsogo forever. "My hands are weak, but truth is not," she said. "What you did today will return to you from a place you cannot escape." Then she walked away. By evening, the story had spread like wildfire. Some villagers condemned Iyabo openly. Others defended her quietly, saying Mama Sadia should not have provoked a rich woman. But many felt uneasy. Olorinsogo elders were respected, old women were feared, and Mama Sadia's words did not sound like an empty threat. That night, Iyabo could not sleep. She heard whispers, footsteps, and the sound of groundnuts hitting the floor. She woke up screaming, drenched in sweat. Conal dismissed it as guilt. "Stop overthinking nonsense," he said. "She's just an old beggar." But the next morning, strange things began to happen. Conal's prized cassava mill broke down without warning. Mechanics could not explain it. That same day, Iyabo's expensive gold necklace snapped and fell into the latrine. By evening, Kunal received a call that a shipment of gari had been rejected in the city for being contaminated. People started whispering. 3 days later, Iyabo fell sick. Doctors from the nearby town found nothing wrong. She grew thinner, her eyes sunken, her temper worse. She began to see Mama Sadia everywhere. Mirrors, in dreams. Sitting quietly at the edge of her bed, desperate Kunal consulted a herbalist. The man asked only one question. "What did your wife do?" When Kunal heard the full story, fear crept into his heart. The herbalist shook his head. "That old woman is not ordinary." Meanwhile, Mama Sadia disappeared. No one saw her at her usual roadside spot. Her hut at the edge of the village was empty. Some said she had died. Others said she had moved on. The elders called for a meeting. At the village square, heated arguments broke out. The Bali, the village head, demanded Iyabo apologize publicly. Iyabo refused. "I will not kneel for a beggar," she said. That night, the real shock began. Kunal did not return home. His phone was switched off. By morning, his abandoned car was found near the river. Panic gripped the village. Search parties were formed. Iabo collapsed when she heard the news. 3 days later, Kunal was found alive but unconscious, deep in the forest near an old shrine long forgotten by most villagers. When he finally woke, his words stunned everyone. "It was Mama Sadia," he whispered. "She saved me." The room fell silent. Kunal explained that armed robbers had attacked him on the road. He escaped, but got lost in the forest. As night fell, he collapsed from exhaustion. He swore that Mama Sadia appeared, gave him water, and led him to safety, warning him that his wife was standing on dangerous ground. But the biggest twist was yet to come. When the elders finally located Mama Sadia, she was not in her hut. She was in the palace, standing beside the bali, clean, upright, respected. The villagers gasped as the bali revealed the truth that had been hidden for decades. Mama Sadia was Sadia Ogunlai, the bali's elder sister. Years ago, after refusing to sell ancestral land to greedy developers, she was framed, disgraced, and forced into poverty. She chose silence over shame and lived among the people to observe their hearts. She was the custodian of ancient village covenants, a woman who carried authority without title. She was never a beggar. She had been testing them. Iabo broke down. For the first time, fear, shame, and regret crushed her pride. She fell to the ground and begged for forgiveness. Mama Sadia looked at her for a long time. "I warned you," she said calmly. "Power without respect is emptiness." She lifted her hand, not to slap, but to bless. Iabo recovered within days. Kunal's business slowly returned, but Iabo was no longer the same. She sold her jewelry, funded care for the elderly in the village, and personally rebuilt Mama Sadia's old hut as a community shelter. Olorinzogo never forgot that slap, because in that village, they learned a lesson that would be told for generations. Never judge weakness, never mistake silence for powerlessness, and never forget that the person you disgrace today may be the one holding your fate tomorrow.